Life is not fair. Storms will come. Pain will hit you when you least expect it. And in that moment, you will either break or you will rise. This audiobook is not about comfort. It is about power. It is about building the kind of mind that refuses to quit, that refuses to fold, that refuses to bow to fear. If you want a soft pillow, stop listening now. But if you want iron in your soul, steel in your will, and the ability to endure any storm life throws at you, this is your training ground. This is mental toughness.
Chapter 1. Stop wishing, start training. Stop wishing, start training. Stop dreaming, start doing. That's the first rule. That's the foundation. That's the key. You've been wasting time. You've been hoping for change. You've been scrolling, comparing, waiting for the right moment. But wishing doesn't build anything. Wishing doesn't change you. Wishing doesn't get you stronger, faster, sharper. Training does. Training is the only path. Listen carefully. Mental toughness is not a gift. It's not luck. It's not DNA. Mental toughness is built, rep by rep, day by day, decision by decision. The people you admire, the ones you call disciplined, talented, driven, they aren't special. They trained when you slept. They worked when you scrolled. They prepared in silence when nobody cared, so they could dominate when it mattered. Stop wishing. Start training. The illusion of wishing. Wishing feels good. It tricks you. It gives you the illusion of progress. You imagine the body, the career, the respect. You feel a quick burst of motivation. But here's the truth. Motivation dies. Wishes fade. And when they fade, all you're left with is the same weak habits. That's why people stay stuck. They confuse wishing with working. They confuse hoping with building. You have a choice. Every single day, you have a choice. Stay a dreamer or become a doer. Which one are you? Training is the separator. Winners don't wait for a sign. They don't ask for permission. They train. Athletes know this. Soldiers know this. Champions know this. They practice drills that seem boring. They run when nobody's watching. They prepare when nobody's clapping. Why? Because when the storm hits, when the pressure's on, they don't flinch. They've trained their mind to hold the line. You're still waiting for motivation. That's weakness. You don't need motivation. You need training. You don't need inspiration. You need discipline. You don't need their permission. You need commitment. Stop wishing. Start training. Real-world instruction. Here's what this means for you. Every day, train something. Train your body. Train your mind. Train your focus. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or 5 hours. The act itself builds the discipline muscle. Wake up earlier. That's a rep. Read instead of scrolling. That's a rep. Do the workout even when you're tired. That's a rep. Write when you don't feel like it. That's a rep. Every rep counts. Every rep rewires your brain. Every rep builds your toughness. You have a choice. Skip the rep, stay weak. Or take the rep, grow stronger. That's it. That's the entire formula. Stop wishing. Start training. The illusion of wishing is weak. The discipline over dream principle. People talk about dreams. They glorify them. Follow your dream. they say. That's a lie. Dreams without discipline are empty. Dreams without training rot. It's not about dreaming. It's about doing. It's not about wishing. It's about working. Discipline is the bridge. Training is the fuel. Dreams without discipline are just bedtime stories. Discipline turns them into reality. You don't need another dream. You need another rep. You don't need another vision board. You need another set. That's the key. Training when it hurts. Understand this. Real training hurts. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally. Training means resistance. Training means friction. Training means facing what you don't want to face. That's why most people quit. They want results without pain. They want strength without sacrifice. They want the crown without the grind. You can't have both. You must choose your pain. Choose your price. Training pain is temporary. Regret pain is permanent. Stop wishing. Start training. Silence and shadows. There's a reason athletes train in silence. There's a reason warriors sharpen their edge in shadows. Because training isn't about recognition. It isn't about applause. It's about transformation. When you train in silence, the world underestimates you. That's power. They don't see the hours. They don't see the sweat. They don't see the failures. Then, when it's time to perform, you explode. That's the secret. That's why you stop wishing. That's why you start training. Choice. Over and over. You'll hear me repeat this over and over. You have a choice. Right now, later today, tomorrow morning, every second is a fork in the road. Do you stay a wisher, or do you become a trainer? Do you stay weak, or do you build toughness? Do you stay a dreamer, or do you live as a doer? Nobody can make that choice for you. Not me, not your friends, not your family. Only you. That's the truth. That's the freedom. That's the burden. You don't need their permission. You need your own decision. Stop excuses. Excuses are wishes in disguise. I don't have time. That's a wish. I'm too tired. That's a wish. I'll start tomorrow. That's a wish. Stop. Enough. You either train or you don't. You either take control or you surrender it. Ask yourself this. What matters more? Comfort or strength? Entertainment or excellence? Approval or self-respect? You can't have both. You must choose. You must act. Stop wishing. Start training. The first step. So where do you start? Simple. Pick one area of your life, physical, mental, financial, relational, and commit to daily training. Not when you feel like it, not when it's easy. Every day, relentless, ruthless. Track your reps, count them, stack them. Each rep is a brick. Lay the bricks every day. One day you'll look back and see the fortress you built. But only if you stop wishing. Only if you start training. Conclusion. From wisher to warrior. This is the transformation. From wisher to doer. From weak to strong. That's the path. That's the discipline. That's the demand. Stop wishing. Start training. You mastered the first step, choosing training over wishing. That's the entry point. That's where your toughness begins. But toughness has another layer. Beyond training, beyond action, the real battle is time. How you use it, how you waste it, how you invest it. And that's where we go next.
Chapter 2. Pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Pain is not punishment. Pain is instruction. Pain is the signal. Pain is the lesson. Pain is the path. You've been taught to run from pain, to numb it, to medicate it, to hide from it. That's weakness. That's why people stay soft. That's why they stay stuck. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Every struggle shapes you. Every hardship hardens you. Every wound writes a lesson. If you ignore pain, you ignore the truth. If you embrace pain, you learn, you grow, you rise. The lie about pain. Society tells you pain is bad, that comfort is the goal, that the good life means no stress, no struggle, no sacrifice. That's a lie. Comfort kills more dreams than failure ever will. Comfort is a cage. Comfort is decay. The truth? Growth demands pain. Strength requires struggle. Resilience requires resistance. You cannot evolve without it. That's the key. Pain is the process. The SEAL mentality. Look at the Navy SEALs, the toughest warriors on Earth. They have a phrase, embrace the suck. What does that mean? It means stop running from discomfort, stop fighting the inevitable, lean into it, own it. Because they know suffering builds strength. Cold water, endless runs, grueling training. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Pain is the signal. Pain is the lesson. Pain is the path. If SEALs used pain as an excuse, they'd wash out. Instead, they use pain as fuel. Proof they are alive. Proof they are growing. Proof they are becoming unbreakable. You can do the same. You must do the same. The two choices. Every time pain shows up, you have two choices. 1. Retreat, collapse, hide, run back to comfort. That choice makes you smaller, weaker, softer. 2. Face it, lean into it, use it as a teacher. That choice makes you stronger, sharper, harder. Every moment of pain is a fork in the road. Which path will you choose? Weakness or strength? Retreat or rise? That's the decision point. That's where toughness is forged. Real-world instructions. So what does this mean for you, in real terms? It means stop numbing. When you're stressed, don't drown it in scrolling, drinking, or distraction. Sit with it. Ask what it's teaching you. Lean into the workout. When your muscles burn, don't quit. That burn is adaptation. That's your body evolving. Listen to failure. When you stumble at work or in life, don't sulk, don't blame, analyze. Extract the lesson. That failure is your textbook. Endure emotional pain. When rejection stings, don't let it break you, let it sharpen you, let it build your resilience. Pain always has a message. Always. The weak run from it. The strong read it. Pain is the signal. Pain is the lesson. Pain is the path. Pain versus punishment. Understand this. Pain is not punishment. It's not the universe hating you. It's not fate crushing you. Pain is neutral. Pain is a signal. It says pay attention, adapt, grow. When you start viewing pain as feedback, everything changes. Suddenly setbacks become data. Suddenly struggles become training. Suddenly the thing you feared most becomes the thing that fuels you. That's the shift. That's the power. Small pains, big lessons. Don't wait for massive pain to learn. Train with small pains every day. Cold showers, extra reps, tough conversations, long hours on the craft. Each small pain conditions your mind. Each small pain prepares you for bigger battles. That's how warriors are built, not in one moment of glory, but in 1,000 moments of micro-struggle. You stack them, you survive them, you grow from them, and one day you realize you don't fear pain anymore. You welcome it. Pain as proof. When you feel pain, it's proof. Proof you're alive, proof you're moving, proof you're chasing something worthwhile. No pain, no growth, no struggle, no change, no resistance, no strength. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your proof. The mental reframe. Here's the reframe. When pain comes, don't ask why me. Ask what's the lesson. Don't say I can't take this. Say this is making me stronger. Don't curse the pain. Thank it. Yes, thank it, because it's training you. It's refining you. It's sculpting you into someone sharper, tougher, better. You don't need to like pain, but you must respect it. You must use it. Pain is the signal. Pain is the lesson. Pain is the path. No permission required. Stop waiting for someone to make it easier. Stop expecting life to hand you a pain-free road. That road doesn't exist. That fantasy is a trap. You don't need their permission to struggle. You don't need approval to endure. You need only one thing: the decision to turn pain into power. You have that choice right now, always. Transformation through pain. The most powerful people you know, the leaders, the champions, the creators, they all carry scars. They all carry stories of pain. That's why they're powerful. They learned what pain teaches. They turned struggle into strength. You want to transform? You want to evolve? You want to be unrecognizable 1 year from now? Then stop avoiding pain. Stop numbing it. Stop running from it. Walk into it. Own it. Use it. Because pain is the path, always. Conclusion. From avoidance to embrace. This chapter is the pivot. You've stopped wishing and started training. Now you must stop avoiding and start embracing. Embrace the pain. Embrace the suck. Embrace the lessons. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Pain is not punishment. Pain is instruction. Repeat it until you believe it. Pain is the signal. Pain is the lesson. Pain is the path. You've mastered the truth about pain. Now you must learn to master the one resource more powerful than pain, more finite than comfort, more ruthless than struggle. That resource is time, and discipline with time will decide everything.
Chapter 3. Comfort is killing you. Comfort is a slow death. Comfort is a cage. Comfort is a poison. Comfort is the silent killer. You think you're safe in comfort. You think comfort is the reward, but it's the trap. The easy road destroys resilience. The easy road robs you of strength. The easy road makes you weaker every single day. You weren't built for comfort. You were built for challenge. You were built for stress, struggle, friction. You grow in discomfort. You expand in adversity. You shrink in ease. Comfort is killing you. The slow death of comfort. Comfort doesn't take you out in one blow. It's a slow drip, a quiet erosion. You don't even notice it happening. One skipped workout, one more hour of scrolling, one more excuse, one more tomorrow. That's how it kills, quietly, softly. And then one day you wake up and realize you're weaker than you were last year. Your edge is gone. Your hunger is gone. Your fire is gone. That's the cost of comfort. That's the silent death. The expansion of discomfort. On the other hand, discomfort expands you. Every time you choose challenge, you stretch your capacity. You become sharper, stronger, hungrier. That's why the people who run toward challenge dominate. That's why the people who live in the arena outpace the people sitting on the sidelines. The soft avoid discomfort and shrink. The strong seek discomfort and grow. Comfort is a cage. Comfort is a poison. Comfort is the silent killer. Real-world examples. Look around. The person who avoids hard work, they plateau, they complain, they settle. Meanwhile, the person who embraces extra hours, tough conversations, and brutal training sessions, they expand, they evolve, they take territory. The truth is simple. The more comfortable you are, the smaller your world becomes. The more uncomfortable you get, the bigger your world grows. Which path are you on? Shrinking or expanding? Real-world instructions. So, what must you do? You must make discomfort a daily practice. Not sometimes, not when it's convenient, daily. Choose the hard workout. Don't skip it. Don't water it down. Do the extra rep. Push when your body screams stop. Have the tough conversation. Don't hide from it. Face it. Take the cold shower. Train your body to obey you, not comfort. Do the work when you don't feel like it. That's the rep that counts. Every time you choose discomfort, you build resilience. Every time you choose the hard thing, you expand your capacity. That's the formula. That's the truth. Comfort versus growth. Understand this. You can have comfort or you can have growth. You can't have both. Growth is born in pain, sweat, and sacrifice. Growth demands friction. Comfort demands nothing. A nothing is exactly what it gives you. Comfort feels good in the moment. Growth feels good for a lifetime. Comfort is easy. Growth is hard. That's why most people settle. That's why most people shrink. That's why mediocrity is crowded and greatness is lonely. Which will you choose? The illusion of safety. Comfort whispers a lie. Stay here. It's safe. Don't risk it. Don't stretch. Don't try. But the truth, comfort is not safety. Comfort is vulnerability. Because when life hits, and it will, you won't be ready. You won't be trained. You won't be tough enough to hold the line. Comfort makes you fragile. Discomfort makes you anti-fragile. The more chaos comes, the more you grow. That's the advantage of training in discomfort. That's the armor you build when you step out of the cage. Comfort is not safety. Comfort is the slowest form of suicide. Choosing the hard road. From now on, make it a rule. When faced with two roads, easy or hard, you take the hard one. Always. Because the hard road trains you. The hard road shapes you. The hard road arms you. The easy road? It erodes you. It takes your edge. It leaves you exposed. The hard road is your path. The hard road is your ally. The hard road is your teacher. Comfort is a cage. Comfort is a poison. Comfort is the silent killer. The pain-comfort connection. Remember Chapter 2? Pain is the teacher, and comfort is the opposite of pain. Comfort blocks the lesson. Comfort numbs the growth. Comfort silences the signal. So, if pain is the path, comfort is the dead end. If pain is the lesson, comfort is ignorance. If pain is proof, comfort is decay. You must choose pain or comfort, growth or death. No permission required. Don't wait for someone to push you out of comfort. Don't wait for a coach, a boss, a crisis. Push yourself. Force yourself into the arena. Demand more from yourself. You don't need permission to leave the cage. You just need decision. That's the key. That's the turning point. Transformation through discomfort. So the transformation happens when you stop craving comfort and start craving challenge. When you stop asking for ease and start asking for difficulty. That's when you cross the line. That's when you become dangerous. Because the one who loves discomfort can't be stopped. The one who seeks challenge can't be broken. The one who rejects comfort can't be controlled. That's who you must become. Conclusion: from comfort to challenge. So hear it again. Hear it until it sticks. Comfort is a cage. Comfort is a poison. Comfort is the silent killer. Step out of the cage. Step into the fire. Stop choosing the easy road. Choose the hard one. Stop craving comfort. Crave challenge. Stop shrinking. Start expanding. You've mastered the truth about wishing. You've embraced the truth about pain. And now you've learned the truth about comfort. It is the enemy. But there's another enemy even more dangerous than comfort. An enemy you can never win back once it's gone. That enemy is time.
Chapter 4. Discipline over motivation. Motivation fades. Discipline endures. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. That's the truth most people refuse to face. They wait to feel like it. They wait to be inspired. They wait for the perfect moment. And while they wait, their life rots. You can't rely on motivation. You can't trust it. Motivation is a liar. It shows up when it's convenient and vanishes when you need it most. Discipline doesn't vanish. Discipline doesn't waver. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline is the foundation. Discipline is the weapon. Discipline wins. The flaw of motivation. Think about how many times you've felt motivated and then did nothing. You watched a video. You read a quote. You got pumped up. But the next morning, the motivation was gone. You hit snooze. You skipped the gym. You scrolled your phone. Motivation is emotion, and emotions are unstable. They swing. They fade. They betray you. If you live by emotion, you live weak. That's why motivation is flawed. That's why motivation is fragile. That's why winners never rely on it. The power of discipline. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired. Discipline doesn't care if you're sad. Discipline doesn't care if you're not in the mood. Discipline demands action. And when you obey discipline, you win. Soldiers don't fight because they're motivated. They fight because the mission demands it. Athletes don't train because they're excited. They train because the schedule demands it. CEOs don't show up because they feel like it. They show up because the company demands it. That's the difference. That's the edge. That's the standard. Discipline is the foundation. Discipline is the weapon. Discipline wins. Routine builds toughness. Mental toughness is not built on feelings. It's built on routine. You wake up at the same time. You do the reps. You make the calls. You write the pages. Every single day, no matter what. That routine becomes your armor. That routine becomes your identity. And once you live by routine,
You no longer need motivation. You no longer need emotion. You have discipline. And discipline is enough. Real-world instructions. Here's what this looks like in practice. Pick a wake-up time. Keep it. Every day. No exceptions. Set non-negotiables. 3 things you must complete daily, whether you feel like it or not. Build systems. Don't rely on willpower. Create structure. Schedule the workout. Block the hours. Remove distractions. Stack small wins. Do the hardest task first. Completed? Move on. Stack another. Discipline is not about huge dramatic acts. It's about small, consistent acts, day after day, brick after brick. That's how fortresses are built. Motivation won't build a fortress. Discipline will. The illusion of waiting. The biggest lie you tell yourself is, "I'll do it when I feel ready." You will never feel ready. Stop waiting. Stop stalling. Stop hoping for motivation to show up. It won't. You don't wait for the mood. You build the routine. You don't wait for permission. You make the commitment. Motivation is weak. Discipline is ruthless. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is eternal. Emotion versus execution. Understand this. Winners don't execute based on feelings. They execute based on standards. You must set your standard higher than your emotions. Feelings say, "I don't want to." Discipline says, "Do it anyway." Feelings say, "I'm tired." Discipline says, "Finish the set." Feelings say, "I'll do it later." Discipline says, "Now." Feelings lie. Discipline tells the truth. Discipline is the foundation. Discipline is the weapon. Discipline wins. No permission required. Stop asking yourself how you feel. Stop giving yourself permission to be weak. Stop waiting for a green light. You don't need it. You don't need their permission. You don't need your own permission. You need discipline. Discipline doesn't ask. Discipline commands. Discipline demands. And the more you obey discipline, the stronger you become. The weaker motivation becomes. Until one day, you don't even care if you're motivated or not. You act anyway. That's freedom. That's power. Transformation through discipline. The transformation happens when you stop living by moods and start living by methods. When you stop chasing feelings and start chasing standards, that's when you become dangerous. That's when you can't be stopped. Because discipline is consistent. Discipline is steady. Discipline is loyal. Discipline never leaves you. Motivation is a guest. Discipline is a soldier. Motivation visits. Discipline stays. Motivation excites. Discipline executes. Motivation fades. Discipline endures. Discipline is the foundation. Discipline is the weapon. Discipline wins. The discipline mindset. From now on, don't even ask, "Am I motivated?" Ask, "Am I disciplined?" Don't measure your life by emotion. Measure it by execution. Did you do the reps? Did you hold the standard? Did you complete the task? That's the scorecard. That's the only scoreboard that matters. And when you stack days of discipline, you stack years of transformation. Conclusion. From motivation to mastery. Hear it again. Motivation fades. Discipline endures. Motivation is emotion. Discipline is execution. Discipline is the foundation. Discipline is the weapon. Discipline wins. You've learned that training beats wishing. You've learned that pain is a teacher. You've learned that comfort is the killer. And now you know the truth. Discipline beats motivation. Always. But discipline doesn't just apply to action. It also applies to silence, to restraint, to mastering your tongue and your emotions. Because sometimes the toughest discipline isn't doing, it's not doing. And that's where we go next.
Chapter 5. Silence the weak voice inside you. Every person has two voices, the weak voice and the strong voice. The weak voice whispers excuses. The strong voice demands action. The weak voice tells you to quit. The strong voice tells you to finish. The weak voice says, comfort. The strong voice says, challenge. You already know both voices. You hear them every day. The weak voice tells you to hit snooze. The strong voice tells you to get up. The weak voice says, skip the workout. The strong voice says, one more rep. The weak voice says, take the easy way. The strong voice says, take the hard road. The battle of your life is the battle between those voices. The question is, which one do you obey? Silence the weak voice. Amplify the strong one. The weak voice defined. Let's be clear about the weak voice. It's the voice of excuses. It's the voice of hesitation. It's the voice of fear. It sounds friendly. It sounds reasonable. It says, you deserve a break. You can do it tomorrow. It's not a big deal if you skip once. That's how it tricks you. But make no mistake, the weak voice is a liar. Every time you obey it, you get weaker. Every time you listen, you shrink. Every time you surrender, you build the habit of quitting. That's the enemy. That's the saboteur. Now the strong voice, that's the voice of discipline. That's the voice of action. It doesn't whisper excuses, it commands. It demands. It says, get up. Do the work. One more rep. Finish what you started. The strong voice is the voice of who you could be. The strong voice is the future you, tougher, sharper, unstoppable, calling you forward. Every time you obey it, you grow. Every time you listen, you expand. Every time you act, you build the habit of winning. Silence the weak voice. Amplify the strong one. Example, the workout. Halfway through, the weak voice shows up. It says, stop. You're tired. You've done enough. The strong voice pushes back. One more rep, one more set, one more mile. That's the choice. That's the fork in the road. And in that moment, your future is decided. Do you obey weakness or do you obey strength? Every time you finish, every time you push, you prove to yourself the strong voice wins. The power of repetition. This battle doesn't happen once. It happens every day, in every choice. That's why it matters, because repetition builds identity. Every time you silence the weak voice, you make it quieter. Every time you obey the strong voice, you make it louder. Until one day, the weak voice is barely a whisper.
and the strong voice is a roar. That's how you transform. That's how you build mental toughness. Real-world instructions. So how do you do this? How do you silence the weak voice and amplify the strong one? Catch it fast. When the weak voice speaks, recognize it. Don't ignore it. Call it out. Label it. Say to yourself, that's weakness talking. Naming it exposes it. Weakness loses power in the light. Answer it. Don't let it win in silence. Respond with the strong voice. No, do it anyway. One more rep. Act immediately. Don't debate. Don't hesitate. Action drowns out excuses. Action silences weakness. That's the formula. Recognize, label, answer, act. The illusion of kindness. Understand this. The weak voice pretends to be kind. It pretends to protect you, but it's not protecting you. It's destroying you. It's tricking you into comfort. And comfort, as you've learned, is death. The strong voice sounds harsh, demanding, ruthless, but it's the only one that truly has your back. It doesn't care about your feelings, it cares about your growth. It doesn't care about your comfort, it cares about your future. That's why you must silence one and amplify the other. Silence the weak voice, amplify the strong one. No permission required. Don't wait for silence to come naturally. Don't wait for the weak voice to disappear. It never will. It will always be there, whispering. But you don't need its permission to act. You don't need its approval to grow. You need discipline to shut it down. You can't negotiate with weakness. You can only silence it. Transformation through obedience. The truth is simple. Your life becomes whatever voice you obey. If you obey the weak voice, your life will be small, fragile, forgettable. If you obey the strong voice, your life will be big, tough, legendary. You are training obedience every day. Obedience to weakness or obedience to strength. That's the choice. That's the path. Training the strong voice. So train the strong voice daily. Do small things that force it to speak. Take the stairs. Do the extra push-ups. Skip the junk food. Speak the truth when it's uncomfortable. Each act forces the strong voice to grow. Each act forces the weak voice to shrink. You're conditioning yourself. You're rewiring your brain. You're deciding over and over which voice wins. Silence the weak voice. Amplify the strong one. Conclusion. From noise to clarity. This is the essence of toughness, controlling the voices inside you. The weak voice of excuses, the strong voice of action. One destroys, one builds. One whispers, one roars. Silence the weak voice. Amplify the strong one. That is the battle. That is the discipline. That is the path. You've learned the power of discipline. Now you've learned the power of silencing weakness. But there's one more layer to this war. Beyond the inner voices, beyond comfort and pain, it's the force that rules your entire life. That force is your time. And discipline with time decides whether you win or waste it.
Chapter 6. Embrace the storm. Don't hide from it.
Storms are inevitable. Financial storms, emotional storms, physical storms. Life is not calm seas forever. Life is waves. Life is chaos. Life is pain. Weak minds run from the storm. They hide. They collapse. They pray it passes. Strong minds don't run. Strong minds endure. Strong minds don't fear the storm. They embrace it. Do not fear the storm. Become the storm. The truth about storms. Most people believe storms are a punishment. They think hardship means they're cursed, unlucky, singled out. Wrong. Storms are not punishment. Storms are reality. Storms are life. You cannot escape them. You cannot avoid them. The question is not if the storm will come. The question is, who will you be when it hits? Weak or strong? Fragile or unbreakable? Runner or fighter? Do not fear the storm. Become the storm. Churchill's lesson. Look back at history. During World War II, Winston Churchill stood in the middle of the greatest storm the world had ever seen. London bombed, Europe burning, his people desperate. Did he run? Did he hide? No. He stood firm. He repeated the words that would echo for generations. Never give in. That's the model. That's the standard. He didn't fear the storm. He became the storm. His resolve outlasted the chaos. His strength carried others. His discipline anchored a nation. Storms don't just test you. They reveal you. The storm as a teacher. Understand this. Storms are not just obstacles. They're teachers. They strip away illusions. They expose weakness. They force growth. Every storm carries a lesson. Every storm forges resilience. If you run, you learn nothing. If you hide, you shrink. But if you face the storm, if you endure it, you come out harder, sharper, stronger. That's the key. That's the transformation. Real-world instructions. So how do you embrace storms instead of fearing them? You train for them daily. Expect them. Stop being surprised by hardship. Expect it. Prepare for it. Face them head-on. When the challenge comes, don't delay, don't run, attack it directly. Anchor yourself. Use routines, discipline, and non-negotiables as your foundation. When chaos swirls, structure holds you steady. Reframe the storm. Don't say, "Why me?" Say, "This is my training. This is my test." Storms are not here to break you. They are here to make you. Do not fear the storm. Become the storm. Weak minds versus strong minds. Weak minds panic. Strong minds prepare. Weak minds complain. Strong minds adapt. Weak minds crumble. Strong minds endure. The difference isn't circumstance. It's choice. Weakness is running. Strength is standing. Weakness is hiding. Strength is facing. Which one are you training? Which one do you want to be when the storm arrives? The illusion of calm. People pray for calm seas, but calm seas never make strong sailors. Storms do. Calm is comfort. Calm is weakness. Calm teaches you nothing. Storms teach survival. Storms teach courage. Storms teach endurance. So stop praying for calm. Stop begging for easy. Ask for storms, because storms sharpen you. Storms shape you. Storms transform you. Identity as the storm. Here's the ultimate step. Stop seeing yourself as a victim of storms. Start seeing yourself as the storm itself. When you become the storm, nothing can scare you. Nothing can stop you. Chaos becomes your home. Pressure becomes your fuel. People fear storms, but storms fear nothing. That's what you must become. Do not fear the storm. Become the storm. No permission required. You don't need life to go easy on you. You don't need the world to be fair. You don't need permission to endure. You already have what you need: the choice, the decision to face it, the discipline to stand in it. Storms are inevitable, but so is your decision. Transformation through storms. Think about it. Every breakthrough you've ever had came after a storm. Every moment of growth came after chaos. Every version of your stronger self was born in hardship. That's the pattern. That's the process. So why run from what creates you? Why fear what forges you? Why hide from the very thing that makes you powerful? Storms don't destroy the strong. Storms reveal them. Conclusion. From fear to power. Hear it again. Storms are inevitable. Weak minds run. Strong minds endure. Weak minds fear. Strong minds embrace. You've learned to train instead of wish. You've learned to use pain as a teacher. You've rejected comfort. You've chosen discipline. You've silenced weakness. And now, you've embraced the storm. But storms demand one more skill: clarity in chaos. The ability to stay calm, controlled, and razor-focused when everything around you is breaking. That's the next step in your toughness.
Chapter 7. Your mind is stronger than your body. The body breaks before the mind, unless the mind quits first. That's the truth. That's the line. That's the difference between the ones who finish and the ones who fold. Your body screams stop long before it actually has to stop. Your body says quit at 40%. But your mind? Your mind can push you beyond. Your mind can command your body to endure, to resist, to keep going. The body bends. The mind commands. The mind conquers. The body's lie. Here's what you need to understand. The body lies. It tells you it's done when it's not. It tells you it's finished when it has reserves left. That's built in. It's survival instinct. It's self-preservation. But survival instinct is weakness when your mission is greatness. The body wants safety. The body wants comfort. The body wants to stop. But the mind, the disciplined, trained, ruthless mind, can override it. The body bends. The mind commands. The mind conquers. The marathon example. Look at marathon runners. At mile 20, the body collapses. The legs scream. The lungs burn. The body says, no more. But the runners who finish? They don't listen to the body. They listen to the mind. They say, keep going, one more step, one more mile. That's why they crossed the line. Not because their bodies were stronger, but because their minds refused to quit. The same is true for soldiers in special forces. They endure freezing water, endless runs, crushing exhaustion. Their bodies want to give in, but their minds refuse. That's the difference. That's why they pass when others fail. The body bends, the mind commands, the mind conquers. The weak versus the strong. Weak people obey the body. They quit when they feel tired. They stop when it hurts. They listen to the lie. Strong people obey the mind. They go beyond pain. They push past exhaustion. They use the body as a tool, not a master. Who are you obeying, the body or the mind? Chapter 8. Failure is fuel. Failure is not defeat. Failure is not the end. Failure is the beginning. Failure is fuel.
Failure is the fire that forges resilience. You've been taught to fear failure, to avoid it, to hide from it. That's weakness. That's why people never grow. They spend their lives protecting themselves from embarrassment, from rejection, from falling short. And because of that fear, they never rise. Failure is not your enemy. Failure is your fuel. Failure feeds me. Failure builds me. Failure drives me. The lie about failure. Society tells you failure is shame. Teachers mark it wrong. Bosses call it unacceptable. Parents warn you against it. So you've been conditioned to see failure as something to avoid, something to fear, something to hide. But that's the lie. The truth? Failure is feedback. Failure is instruction. Failure is the raw material of mastery. Without failure, you cannot grow. Without failure, you cannot toughen. Without failure, you cannot win. Edison's lesson. Look at Thomas Edison. Thousands of attempts to invent the light bulb. Thousands of failures. But he didn't call them failures. He called them steps. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset. That's the lesson. He used failure as fuel. He used failure as feedback. And because of that, he lit the world. Failure feeds me. Failure builds me. Failure drives me. The fire of failure. Failure is fire. It burns you. It hurts. But it also purifies. It strips away weakness. It exposes flaws. It forces adaptation. Every failure teaches. Every failure shapes. Every failure makes you stronger, if you let it. Weak people collapse in failure. They cry, complain, quit. Strong people rise in failure. They analyze, adapt, advance. Which one are you? Real-world instructions. So how do you use failure as fuel instead of letting it destroy you? Simple. Reframe it. Stop calling it defeat. Call it data. Ask, what did this teach me? Extract the lesson. Write it down. Document what failed and why. Apply it fast. Don't sulk. Don't waste time. Use the lesson immediately in your next attempt. Repeat without fear. Fail again. Fail smarter. Fail forward. Failure is not final. It's feedback. Failure feeds me. Failure builds me. Failure drives me. The weak versus the strong. Weak people avoid failure at all costs. They play small. They never risk. They never try. They call that safety. But it's not safety. It's self-destruction. Strong people chase failure. They push boundaries. They risk big. They learn fast. They grow. That's why they outpace everyone else. They fail more often, but they win bigger. Because failure doesn't kill them. Failure fuels them. The 3 responses to failure. Every time you fail, you have 3 choices. Retreat, give up, quit, become smaller. Repeat, keep failing the same way. Refuse to learn, stay stuck. Refine, extract the lesson, apply it, improve. That's growth. That's resilience. Only the 3rd response turns failure into fuel. Only refinement builds toughness. The fear of judgment. Most people don't fear failure itself. They fear judgment. They fear what others will say. They fear the laughter, the criticism, the embarrassment. But let me tell you this. Those people laughing, they're not in the arena. They're not sweating. They're not risking. Ignore them. They don't matter. What matters is your progress. What matters is your resilience. What matters is your growth. Failure is not proof of weakness. Failure is proof of effort. No permission required. Stop waiting for permission to fail. Stop waiting for safety. Stop waiting for a guarantee. There are no guarantees. There is only risk. There is only struggle. There is only the fight. You don't need their permission to try. You don't need their permission to fail. And you don't need their permission to rise again. You fall, you rise, you repeat. That's the formula. That's the toughness. That's the path. Failure feeds me. Failure builds me. Failure drives me. Transformation through failure. The transformation happens when you flip your relationship with failure, when you stop fearing it and start craving it, when you stop avoiding it and start chasing it. That's when you evolve. That's when you become unstoppable. Because a person who is not afraid to fail cannot be controlled. They cannot be broken. They cannot be stopped. Failure is fuel. And once you understand that, you realize failure is not the end. It's the ignition. Conclusion. From fear to fuel. Hear it again. Failure is not defeat. Failure is not final. Failure is fuel. Failure feeds me. Failure builds me. Failure drives me. You've learned the truth about training, pain, comfort, discipline, silence, storms, and the mind. Now you've added another weapon, failure as fuel. But there's another piece you must master, a force as dangerous as comfort, as powerful as fear, as deceptive as weakness. That force is doubt. Doubt is the silent assassin of dreams, and unless you crush it, it will crush you.
Chapter 9. Stop seeking approval. Start building power. Validation is weakness. Approval is a cage. Applause is a drug. You think you need it. You think you can't live without it. But the truth? Every time you chase approval, you surrender power. Power does not come from being liked. Power does not come from applause. Power comes from self-respect. Power comes from conviction. Power comes from discipline. Stop seeking approval. Start building power. The trap of approval. Approval is addictive. You post for likes. You talk for applause. You live for acceptance. But here's the problem. The more you chase approval, the weaker you become. You hand over control of your worth to other people. You let strangers decide your value. That's not strength. That's slavery. Stop seeking approval. Start building power. The icons who refused approval. Look at the greats. Elon Musk didn't wait for Wall Street's approval to launch rockets. He acted with conviction when the world laughed. Muhammad Ali didn't seek applause before declaring, "I am the greatest." He spoke it before anyone believed it. Rosa Parks didn't ask permission to sit. She acted with conviction in silence, and that one act shook the system. None of them lived for approval. They lived for power. They lived for conviction. They lived for truth. That's the model. That's the standard. Weakness versus power. Weak people need applause to act. They need likes to feel worthy. They need validation to move forward. Strong people act without applause. They move without approval. They build their power in silence and let results speak louder than applause ever could. Which one are you? Do you need their permission, or do you build your own power? Stop seeking approval.
Start building power. Real-world instructions. So how do you break free from the cage of approval? You train self-respect. You build conviction. You set your own standard. Detach from applause. Post the work, do the work, but don't count the likes. Make decisions alone. Don't poll everyone. Don't beg for consensus. Decide. Commit. Say no. Stop agreeing to everything. Protect your time. Protect your mission. Hold your line. Even when people mock, even when they doubt, even when they laugh. That's how you break free. That's how you build power. The poison of applause. Understand this. Applause is temporary. People clap today and boo tomorrow. They cheer your success and then celebrate your downfall. If your power comes from applause, you'll rise and fall with the crowd. You'll live unstable. You'll live weak. But if your power comes from discipline, from conviction, from self-respect, then nothing can shake you. The world can cheer or condemn, and you remain the same, steady, strong, untouchable. That's power. The approval illusion. Approval feels safe. It feels comfortable. But it's an illusion, because approval chains you to mediocrity. The crowd doesn't want greatness. The crowd wants comfort. If you live for their approval, you'll never push boundaries. You'll never take risks. You'll never stand out. You'll die ordinary. Stop seeking approval. Start building power. The conviction standard. Here's the standard. Act with conviction. If it's right, do it. If it's true, speak it. If it matters, fight for it. Whether they clap or condemn, stand. Hold the line. Because conviction is stronger than applause. Conviction is louder than approval. Conviction outlasts the crowd. No permission required. You don't need their permission to rise. You don't need their validation to act. You don't need applause to build power. You need one thing: the decision to respect yourself more than you respect their opinion. That's the switch. That's the freedom. That's the edge. Transformation through power. The transformation happens when you stop chasing hands clapping and start chasing standards rising. When you stop asking, will they approve, and start asking, will I respect myself if I do this? That's the shift. That's the evolution. That's the path. Stop seeking approval. Start building power. Icons revisited. Think about it. Musk, Ali, Parks. They acted with conviction. They didn't bow to applause. They didn't beg for permission. They lived by their own standard. That's why history remembers them. That's why they were powerful. The same is true for you. Stop trying to please. Stop trying to fit. Stop trying to be approved. Build your own power. Respect your own standard. Live your own truth. Conclusion. From approval to power. Hear it again. Approval is weakness. Applause is a cage. Validation is slavery. Stop seeking approval. Start building power. You've learned to train instead of wish. You've embraced pain. You've rejected comfort. You've chosen discipline. You've silenced weakness. You've endured storms. You've commanded the mind. You've used failure as fuel. And now, you've freed yourself from the cage of approval. But there is one more chain to break, one more prison that keeps people stuck. It's not applause. It's not fear. It's not failure. It's the lack of purpose. Without purpose, discipline dies. Without purpose, toughness collapses. That's the next step.
Chapter 10. Stand unbreakable, no matter what. The final stage of mental toughness is not muscles. It's not medals. It's not applause. The final stage is an unbreakable spirit. Unbreakable doesn't mean bulletproof. It doesn't mean pain can't touch you. It doesn't mean hardship won't scar you. It means you don't fold. It means you don't surrender. It means you stand, no matter what. I do not bend. I do not fold. I do not break. What unbreakable really means? Unbreakable doesn't mean the absence of pain. It means endurance through it. It doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means courage despite it. It doesn't mean no scars. It means standing tall with scars, stronger because of them. That's what separates the fragile from the unstoppable. Fragile people demand a smooth road. Unbreakable people walk the broken road and keep walking. I do not bend. I do not fold. I do not break. Mandela's lesson. Look at Nelson Mandela. 27 years in prison, decades of his life stripped away, darkness, isolation, hard labor. The world expected him to break. But he didn't. He emerged unbroken, not bitter, disciplined, not destroyed, refined. He stood unyielding, his spirit unbreakable. And when he walked free, he didn't seek revenge. He sought justice. He sought freedom. That's power. That's toughness. That's what unbreakable looks like. Weakness versus unbreakable. Weakness bends under pressure. Weakness folds under resistance. Weakness collapses under chaos. But unbreakable doesn't. Unbreakable spirit holds the line. Unbreakable spirit refuses to quit. Unbreakable spirit says, I will not be destroyed. Which one do you choose? Weakness or unbreakable? Real-world instructions. So how do you stand unbreakable? It's not one act. It's daily training. Face hardship willingly. Stop running from resistance. Use it to toughen your spirit. Refuse victimhood. Don't whine. Don't wallow. Accept the hit and keep moving. Anchor to purpose. Know why you're fighting. Without purpose, storms will crush you. With purpose, nothing can. Repeat the vow. When pain rises, when fear whispers, when doubt screams, say it. I do not bend. I do not fold. I do not break. Each repetition reinforces the spirit. Each act of endurance hardens your resolve. The unbreakable choice. Here's the truth. Unbreakable is a choice. It's not genetic. It's not luck. It's not destiny. It's daily decisions stacked on top of each other until your spirit is iron. Most people choose to bend. They choose to fold. They choose to break. They surrender at the first sign of pressure. You must choose the opposite. You must choose to stand. I do not bend. I do not fold. I do not break. The power of standing.
When you stand unbreakable, you become untouchable. Life can hit you with storms, pain, failure, rejection. It doesn't matter. You hold the line. You stay the course. You refuse to be destroyed. That's strength. That's freedom. That's true power. Because nobody can control the one who will not break. Nobody can stop the one who refuses to fold. Nobody can defeat the one who always stands back up. No permission required. Understand this. You don't need the world to give you strength. You don't need approval. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You need one thing, the decision to be unbreakable. You don't control the hits. You don't control the storms. But you control the choice to rise. You control the vow. I do not bend. I do not fold. I do not break. Transformation through unbreakable spirit. This is the final transformation. You've trained. You've embraced pain. You've rejected comfort. You've chosen discipline. You've silenced weakness. You've endured storms. You've commanded the mind. You've turned failure into fuel. You've stopped seeking approval. Now you arrive at the peak, unbreakable spirit. This is the ultimate standard. This is the ultimate freedom. Because once you are unbreakable, you are unstoppable. Conclusion. The unbreakable life. Hear it again. Say it until it burns into your soul. I do not bend. I do not fold. I do not break. This is the final stage of toughness. This is the core of mental strength. Not comfort, not applause, not validation. Standing, enduring, refusing to quit. You've reached the top of the mountain. But here's the truth. The journey never ends. Discipline is not a one-time act. Toughness is not a single battle. It's a lifetime, a practice, a daily vow. So take this book, take these lessons and live them. Build the life of discipline. Embrace the storms. Use pain as a teacher. Reject comfort. Silence weakness. Fuel yourself with failure. Refuse applause. And above all, stand unbreakable. Because the world will test you. The world will hit you. The world will try to break you. And you will answer, I do not bend. I do not fold. I do not break.
Storms are not going away. Pain will not stop coming. Failure will not disappear. Life will not get easier. But you can get stronger. You can stop wishing and start training. You can embrace pain as your teacher. You can reject comfort, live in discipline, silence the weak voice, and amplify the strong one. You can embrace storms instead of running from them. You can drive your body with the command of your mind. You can feed on failure, stop begging for approval, and stand unbreakable. This is not theory. This is not a suggestion. This is your command, your training, your war. And now it's your choice. Will you fold at the first sign of pain, or will you rise, endure, and prove unbreakable? The storm is here. Step into it. And never, ever break.